Welcome back. Still tuned into the market. We've made many strides when it comes to the vaccine back home with the TGCI's nod for the 2 COVID vaccines for restricted emergency use. Let's find out a little bit more about the timeline rollout as well as what exactly is going to be the next step. We have Dr. Vinod Paul, member of the NITI Aayog, joining in to discuss just that. Thank you so much for taking time out and joining in on ET now. Dr. Paul, just wanted to begin with understanding what now the next step is going to be now that we've got the DGCI approval. This is for the AstraZeneca as well as the Bharat Biotech Covaxin. What exactly is going to be the next step when it comes to the rollout?
Well, I think the most important rate limiting step has already been achieved. We have the licensure to proceed with the vaccines. And in parallel, as you're all aware, that a massive preparatory effort has been going on for quite some time. And as a part of that, just 2 days ago, there was a nationwide mock preparatory effort, mock drill, at the district level, to see how the actual activity of vaccination will pan out. The preparations have been made in regard to the IT backbone, the IT program and the platform called CoWin, which is ready. We have the line listing of healthcare workers, 70 lakh of them and more being lined up. So the first phase of the first wave of vaccine, the first wave would cover 30 crore people, and the very first wave is to start with the healthcare workers is ready. Now, in terms of the immediate next steps would be the procurement, now that we have a licensed vaccine, an immediate procurement, and then mobilizing the vaccine doses to the vaccine hubs, the large vaccine hubs, which are about 30 plus in various locations in the country, to be done very quickly, followed by a quick transmission of these vials to the district level to be picked up by the state government. So this is the practical part that has to be instituted, which will take a very few days to be instituted. And then the first phase begins.
So, Dr. Paul, is it understood that the government is going to vaccinate a total of 30 crore people in the first phase? And apart from the healthcare workers, policemen, volunteers as well, this includes citizens above the age of 50 and with serious comorbidities?
That is the largest, that is the real priority, the first wave of our immunization program that includes
Dr. Paul, we were talking about the rollout, and I wanted to also get a sense from you in terms of beyond emergency use, the more widespread rollout. How soon do you see that happening? There's so many questions right now with regards to the efficacy of the data, the speed with which things are now moving, and whether or not there might be any sort of side effects or any kind of hitches that may come up. How soon do you see this moving beyond emergency use?
Well, lots of questions, but let me begin where we got the connection wrong. I was saying that the largest component of the first wave of vaccination program are people above the age of 50 years, because they are the most vulnerable for COVID-related mortality, and also people below 50 years who have comorbidity. So that's the first part. Now the issue is with regard to moving forward with the vaccine. The vaccines that have been permitted their decision is based on science, based on norms, and based on data. Please remember, one of the vaccines is a conditional emergency use, because this use of Bharat Biotech vaccine would be in clinical trial mode. But we have included this as a part of armamentarium because of the fact that it has proven safety and immunogenicity, and particularly immunogenicity against a wide range of antigens of the virus, which will protect its ability to make the positive difference in the individual because of a multiple range of the antigens against which it makes antibodies, and therefore much less liable to be affected by any future mutation. So it's like an emergency emergency option that has been kept. Now, as we move forward, the vaccine will be rolled out systematically. People will be informed about when to come, where to come, about the dose, and also we would like to assure that the vaccines to be used in the national program will be safe, are safe, and there is no compromise on the safety issue at all. People should really not at all worry about this. There are occasional side effects. These two vaccines have minimal side effects actually, and these are things that you normally expect in anything which you get a jab for. So mild fever, mild little pain here and there, but there's nothing more to it. And other countries are rolling out. We will roll out in a most effective manner nationwide in very, very few next days to come.
Dr. Paul, good morning. Nikunj Dalme also joining in. Once a person is vaccinated, do you think that person needs to get the entire antibody test again to monitor where exactly the antibody levels are moving? Or once you're vaccinated, you are pretty much scot-free and you don't have to worry?
No, that is not part of the protocol. No, you get your vaccination done. We know overall how effective this vaccine would be. These vaccines are being given on a scale in such a way that they are protecting you and also stopping the spread of the pandemic by increasing amount of herd immunity. You don't have to get your antibody test done. Indeed, yes, as a part of the surveillance and the quality assurance program, there may be research mode in which all these efforts are being mounted to make sure that there is a quality assurance and post-marketing surveillance and so on. Those are additional aspects of quality assurance, but that's for the science and for the system to do. For us, yes, get your jab done, get your next dose, and we hope and we know that you will be protected. And we also hope that together, when all of us, a large number of people have received the vaccine, the herd immunity will be enough to stall this pandemic once and for all.
Okay. Dr. Paul, I hope you'll appreciate I'm asking very basic questions because this is for the very larger audience here. My second question is, what are the protocols which need to be followed between the first shot and the second shot? Because what Mr. Poonawalla was sharing with us is that the efficacy will only go to 90% plus once the second shot is administered.
Well, both these vaccines have a 2-dose regimen. And when we are looking at their effect, it is post 2 doses. Okay? In biology, what happens is when you give the first dose, the antibodies are built up to a certain level. Cell immunity is built up to a certain level and then it stays on. When you give the next dose, the response is such that it takes this to totally new level, a very different higher orbit of protection, orbit of antibody production, antibody and production and immunogenicity. This is a fundamental principle of immunization, and this applies to childhood immunization. For example, you take hepatitis B vaccine and you take 3 doses and so on. So this is a well-known principle, and therefore you must take the prescribed number of doses, which in this case means 2 doses. In between the 2 doses, you run your life normally. Protect yourself against COVID-19 through the right behaviors. You cannot give them up too soon. They have to continue in all its intensity and in sincerity. But otherwise, there is nothing to be done but to report for the second dose at the appointed time, which will be provided by the healthcare teams.
Mr. Poonawalla yesterday shared that right now they have 70 million dosage and the government has indicated to them that they will only pick up 10 million to start with. He's also indicating that they are open to the fact that it should be sold in the private market. Now the government wants to reach a number of 300 million doses. Can I assume that the private market availability will only happen after 300 people are vaccinated?
Well, remember how the government is moving forward. We have identified 30 crore individuals who we believe must be part of the first wave of vaccination to make a dent on reducing the COVID-19 mortality in a very big way, and to ensure that our health system and pandemic response system remains functional like a rock. It works. And even in the adversity of second peak, it is solid, and it is protected, and it is loaded to face that calamity if that occurs. Having said that, this is only 30 crore people. There are other citizens who are also potential candidates to receive the vaccine, because then there are other goals that kick in. Other goals, namely being creating enough herd immunity to eliminate the virus. And of course, there are other groups who also have other vulnerabilities to an extent beyond what we are now identifying. So our ambition, the first ambition, is to cover 30 crore, which means 60 crore doses, or 600 million doses to be given, to be followed by additional dose requirements to cover other people. And we believe there is enough stockpile that's available for us to start, and then to build up in the next few months to be able to cover this population. 30 crore people, 60 crore doses, that's 600 million doses.
I don't want to get this one wrong.
Part.
Okay, before we wrap, I don't want to get this one wrong. How soon the vaccine will be available in the private market?
Well, remember, the first approach is public health approach. Okay, and once these objectives have been met and enough vaccine supplies are available additionally, the possibility of making vaccine available will be there. But it's only depending on the amount that's available for us to meet the priority need, and beyond that, then other needs and other forms of availability can be ensured.
And just to get that number, what is the priority number? I don't want to get this wrong.
Let me
this
say it
would be
again.
putting on the digital forum also.
30 crore people is 300 million people. Everybody gets 2 doses, so that's 600 million doses, or 60 crore doses, and then you have some buffer.
And the private market will only be allowed after 30 crore people are vaccinated, or 600 million dosages are done.
Let's balance this out. This is a national program, and we want to get enough supplies to ensure that this national program and national commitment is met in the shortest possible period of time. In parallel, vaccine stockpiles and capabilities will improve, and when there is no risk of compromise of the national program itself, then other ways of making the vaccine available would be there.
Okay. All right, Dr. Paul, really appreciate your time. You've taken time out to join us on a chilly morning from Delhi. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you very much. Good day.